I don't know what the hell's going on. What's up, y'all? Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's gonna be quick. I forgot that Bethany left. I really did. So they start off. They got a new girl, y'all. Luann just got off probation. I was, I had a lot of things to say about Luann and even the new girl, Leah. Is that her name? What's that bitch's name? Leah. Her and Leah both sitting there bonding over attacking a cop, both being arrested for attacking a cop. And both of them are here to live to tell about it, and on a hit reality television show. Isn't that crazy? You've attacked the cop. Luann got out of handcuffs and ran from the cops. She was resisted arrest and was drunk on the streets. And so she just got off of probation. Luann was an asshole last year. They talked about how Luann, it was her and Sonja talking, and she really was. I honestly think that Luann is no different from a Joe Exotic. She's no different from a Donald Trump. She's no different. And what I'm talking about for personality's sake. It's almost like, that there are people who get just a taste of a little bit of fame, and they really turn into who they are, like who they've been this whole time. They just needed some people to clap for them. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, but they still are always wanting to be in the spotlight, and it doesn't matter. The spotlight does not matter. That's what Luann gives me. And it's almost like I'm this, I don't know, it's so like, it's this arrogance about her, and then she's like oblivious. And I don't know if she's really oblivious or if it's an act, but she comes off as untrustworthy. Tinsley, her dog's names are so dumb. Strawberry and Shortcake. Tinsley gets on my nerves. Tinsley is 43 years old, and she is this trust fund baby and just spoiled, and I think this thing with Scott is really bothering Dorinda. And Dorinda feels like you playing this role, you're not being honest, you're keeping it very surface with all of us. So Dorinda is not feeling Tinsley, and she hasn't been feeling that since last season, and so it's carrying over to this season. But Tinsley says she's dating some guy who has 2 ex-wives and 3 children. No. Would you, if your friend came to you and was like, girl, I met this new guy, he has 2 ex-wives and 3 children. You're 43 years old. I guess you'd be like, girl, as long as you're happy, I guess. Whatever. I don't think it's a good idea. Dorinda, they showing Dorinda and John, and how Dorinda she broke her rib. I don't know if she was entertaining or something like that. She broke her rib, and John has been having to come around and help her, and so she's been having to depend on him. Well, word on the street is Dorinda and John are not together. Dorinda is a kind of I think Dorinda might like Leah to a certain extent, because Leah has this idea of men being kind of disposable, and I think Dorinda has that same approach. Like she wants to have a partner, but she's like, he can live somewhere else. We don't need to live together. I still need my own place. I still need my own space, but I want to be in a relationship. You know what I mean? And Leah is giving me that. I'm fine being single. I don't want to deal with men. They're only good for penis. You know what I mean? It's a plenty, and it's not really of value. You know what I'm saying? So they give it out to anybody who wants it. So it's like, whatever. John doesn't understand why Luann is making a big deal of her getting off of probation, because it's like Luann has this idea of herself, and that does not fit a woman with a mugshot. That's all that is. Sonja is dealing with dating. She's still trying to date people. She has this breakdown in this bar where she says, I don't know if I'll ever be hugged by a man or loved by a man or touched by a man again. I want to partner, but she's one of those women who want to be, she's like Vicky Gunvalson. Like, they want to be in a relationship. That's something of value to them, being in a relationship, but they also want to be married. Like, Dorinda is one, I'll be in a relationship, I don't need to be married. You know what I'm saying? Sonja is another one. Sonja's like, I like to partner with men for certain things, but I'm okay with being a single woman. Ramona is not that. Ramona's not that girl. Ramona is a relationship girl. She wants to be in a relationship, but it seems like she's trying to find a balance. She's trying to find a balance. So Tinsley brings in Leah. She introduces Leah. Leah is this, I don't know if Leah's probably around the same age as Tinsley or maybe a little younger. I don't know. But she gives you very much privileged white woman. You know, she said she got into some altercation with the cops. Listen to this. She got into an altercation with the cops. They were roughing up her boyfriend, or a guy she was making out with, on the street. And when she threw a bottle at the cops came over, punched her in the face, I guess did he break her nose? I don't remember if he broke her nose, but slammed her head against something and broke her teeth. So all her teeth in the front are fake. She sued, right? And won $75,000 and opened herself up a business. This is America. This is America. Can you imagine a black girl throwing a bottle at a police officer and him breaking her nose and knocking out all her teeth, and her getting $75,000 as a reward, and her being able to turn around? Honey, it wouldn't even have got to that. She'd be dead. She'd be dead. I was like, okay, so Dorinda... Oh, Ramona and Sonja are talking, and they're having these conversations about partnering, and Sonja's apartment looks very small. I don't know what's going on, but I saw Ramona's apartment, and Ramona's apartment is freaking ridiculous. I think Ramona works kind of like, she works with, now correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys remember, Ramona works almost like a TJ Maxx, Ross, you know, those Burlington, where she kind of takes bulk from one store and sells them to other stores and things like that. I think that's what she does. But Ramona's she's self-made, you know, considering, I mean, she is a white woman in America, but she comes from a bad background or whatever, but she's really a self-made person, just like Vicky Gunvalson. Like, they're both, like, you know, low-key slick Trump supporters. I think Ramona actually is very vocal about her support for Trump. I don't know how it is now, but I think she voted for Trump. A lot of people are saying that all of them did, but I don't even see. Maybe Dorinda maybe, even though I do like Dorinda, she seems like she's a Trump supporter. Like, I don't see Luann doing that. Maybe, I don't know, but not like a Bethany. Who else is on there? Tinsley definitely is a Trump supporter. Like, they might all be. And another thing is, none of the women on the show are wives. So that's one thing that I love about New York, is none of them are wives. But I think Dorinda is having an issue with Tinsley, right? So Dorinda is having this party where she says, you know, I'm the hostess with the mostest type of deal. And she's inviting all of these people from all walks of life to her house, and she invites Tinsley, and Tinsley's like, oh, you know, I feel like a little uncomfortable because I haven't seen Dorinda, and Dorinda's been giving me a lot of shit about my relationship, because she keeps saying she's with Scott, and she breaks up with Scott, but Scott is still paying for her apartment in this hotel, or Scott is still buying her gifts. So it's like, what is it? I think Dorinda's thing is, what is it that you're not telling us? Are you continuing this relationship with Scott? What's going on? So we see that her and Dorinda, they start getting into it. And then even Leah and Luann are sitting right next to each other, and they're, you know, sharing stories about how they both been arrested for attacking cops. And what's her name? So Leah starts seeing Dorinda and what's the other girl's name? Tinsley fuss with each other, and she was like, dang. And so you know, Dorinda's like this. You say something to her, Dorinda turns around and be like, well, at least something. She wants to turn around and hurt you worser then you hurt her. Like, whatever you said to her, she's about to turn around, and she's always in mid walk away, and then she turns around and it's like, no, but at least something, 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 and she comes with something real vulgar and real mean and shit. And then she feels bad immediately after, like, I shouldn't have said that, you know. What she says, I love hard, I fight hard, but and I'm quick to forgive. That's what she says, of course, because you always fighting hard, girl. The new girl says that she's a drinker, you know, and she's had some issues with drinking. She's been sober 9 years, started drinking again, and then ended up in some weird circumstance recently where she's like, okay, I'm gonna stop drinking again. So I don't know what it is. And she has a 12-year-old daughter, and she's best friends with her child's father. They're not good as a couple, but better friends. Dorinda starts talking to Tinsley, and Tinsley talks in this voice like, Dorinda's like, turn down the dolly voice. I'm not here. She's not here. I really believe that Dorinda is just not here for the privileged white girl. I really believe that that's what it is. She's done with the baby talk. She's done with the shallow, like, oh my God, I don't understand what that. She's done with all of that. She's not here for it at all. So that's basically what Dorinda is giving me. So she says something to Dorinda about her shoes being too big and dirty. I think that's what she said. What did she say? What did she say to Dorinda about her shoes? She said something about her shoes, and Dorinda says, the difference is I bought mine. You laid on your back to get yours. And then Tinsley said, you're so jealous. Bitch, that's why I love it, because everybody know when I'm telling you how women relate to each other, race really doesn't have a bearing in it at all, because it's the same shit. It's the same shit. That's why I love watching all of this shit, because it's the same shit, honey. Dorinda turned around and she said, the difference is I bought mine. I didn't lay on my back to get them. I said, come on, bitch. And then Tilly said, you're such a jealous bitch. Bitch, you jealous. You jealous because I'm laying on my back to get my shoes. I don't have to do much. Anyways, y'all, that's it for the Real Housewives of New York City review. We'll get back next week, and then I'm gonna have to come back. I don't know if I'm gonna review Waka and Tammy, but Marriage Boot Camp, I watched that. We could talk about that. Okay, I'm back, bitch. Woo. So Diva almost had the Diva breakdown, honey. I gotta go check this battery. I need to probably clean off the little things. I think that's what it is. But anyways, y'all take care of each other. Protect your energy. We'll get down in the comments for Real Housewives of, oh shit, Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's a mess.